What's up, people? This is Abraham Walker with Ask A Walker, your Northern Virginia real estate agent, here for our Northern Virginia Week 16 real estate market update. In the last 5 weeks, the unemployment numbers do not look great since the coronavirus has started. Just over 26 million people have filed for unemployment. The estimated labor force is about 165 million people. So you're starting to see why the unemployment numbers are so important for what is the health of the economy going to look like due to the coronavirus. You may not see us being impacted as much as other large metropolitan areas around the country is our employment mix. Northern Virginia's employment mix, because we have a military complex, because we have more professional service sector, the information sector, we're not going to be impacted as much by the unemployment numbers, because what we're seeing is that the unemployment numbers are really impacting retail trade sector and the leisure and hospitality sector. So in this region, just a little bit less than 10% of our total workforce is in those two regions. In those two sectors. If unemployment started to impact the professional and business service sector or the information sector, which is the individuals that are in our higher paying jobs in the region, then we would have cause for concern. But we're not seeing that at this time. It's too early in this pandemic to tell if it will have an impact on those two services. And it also benefits us that we do not have a strong venture capitalist or startup company environment, because those companies as well are being negatively impacted by what's going on in the market. So now that we've kind of talked about what's going on in the economy, my name is Abraham Walker with Ask A Walker, your Northern Virginia real estate agent. Thank you so much for watching our show on how does the economy impact the local real estate market. Real estate is local, so we have a lot of national news, like the unemployment numbers. Those are national numbers, and my goal is to use this less than 10-minute segment once a week to kind of break down the numbers, tell you what I'm seeing on my end as a professional real estate agent, and help you to make a better decision. One of the things that we look at on this show that's different than some of the other real estate agents in this region is we actually look at leading indicators. Leading indicators are numbers or economic values that actually allow us to predict what is happening. With any prediction, there's no accuracy to the prediction, and it gives us more confidence in where we're going moving forward. What you'll tend to see most agents talk about is actually lagging indicators like average sales price, the average days on market, buyer financing, right? Those three are looking back, in the past and saying, okay, great, this is what has happened. The government's response to the virus is moving very rapidly. We want to kind of make predictions off of those leading indicators to tell us, okay, great, where are we going moving forward? If you like this series, if you learned something from this video, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below. Now that we've got all that out of the way, let's jump into the numbers. We're going to start with the micro look at the numbers, and then we're going to zoom into the micro look. Macro is just the Northern Virginia region, and then we'll go through the different counties, right? Because if you're watching this and you live in the Northern Virginia area, you're probably much more interested in what's going on in your particular market. There is some positive news because I don't want to. My goal is not to bring you just a bunch of negative news. It's very easy to find negative news in the market right now. Real estate market, stock market, all the automobile market, right? It's a lot of negative news. One thing that happened this week, the new listings numbers are negative 18%. The pendings are negative 36%. And these are year-over-year numbers, right? So we're comparing 1 week this year to the same week the previous year. The withdrawn numbers are just withdrawals right now. We're seeing a lot of people pull their houses off the market right now, which really doesn't make sense. There's so much uncertainty in the upcoming market that you know how much equity you have in your property right now. So I don't know if agents are telling their clients to pull their houses off the market because maybe showings are slowing down, but we know that there are fewer and fewer listings to even compete with at this time. So selling right now is actually in your advantage. All right, so now those are the year-over-year numbers. Let's look at the week-over-week numbers. So what is this telling us? This is telling us that we're starting to get some, this may be the new normal, right? The way the market is decreasing by 18%, 36%, and this may be what we can expect going forward. We just have to kind of keep on monitoring it, so then we'll know what to expect. So I'm going to put a graph right here, right? So these are the year-over-year numbers. We've started tracking this ever since Fairfax County schools said that they were no longer going to be open. And so that was in week 11. And so you see week 11, 5.9%, 13%, and then 7.6%, and then numbers jumped, right? And so this is what we're just noticing, that the market is constricting at this time. And on the pending side as well, right? So both the pending and the new listing side are both decreasing at a very rapid rate, which means that there's less competition on the buy side. So what does that mean for buyers? That just means that you're still going to expect multiple offers. You're still going to be competing, right? Even though it feels like the information that we're getting from the news is negative, because we have such a drastic decrease in the number of new listings and we have a decrease in the number of pendings. That means that the inventory is shrinking. So inventory shrinking means that you're competing against quote unquote less people, but there's also less properties as well. On the sales side, you should still expect to see high prices for sellers at this time. I would almost imagine that you're probably going to start to see sellers actually come on the market a little bit higher than even the last year, because they see that the inventory has already decreased, right? And so if there's nothing to buy, then you have to buy what's available. For investors, I think for the investors that play for you all is actually to go further out away from the core of North Virginia to find some deal. All right, so let's pause this and then we'll jump into part 2 where we'll talk about the micro look at the market.